Well, fellow zombies, are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? 'Cause I sure as hell ain't. I'm here, I think. 5:24 in the morning West Coast time. It is the 5th of August, 2024. Uh, barely alive, barely awake, and not quite sure why I'm out of bed. Zombie. We were John Cia, Roseman, California. Yeah, I mean, without my coffee yet. So, Debbie already made landfall about a few hours ago, as of this recording, and Category 1, and it's going to be flooding a lot of areas. A lot of rain, a lot of wind. So Florida's going to be in for it, a lot of areas, and then South Carolina, and then Georgia. This morning, when I got up, I already had maybe a limit about an hour and a half again. Tossing and turning as usual, and my dog fussing as usual. But also, Monday, I'm expecting another working guy to come in here to do the spraying, and we'll see what happens on that one. If it doesn't, well, great. I'll do something about that one, won't we? Meanwhile, back on the political ranch, how would you like to have your particular state declare you persona non grata? You're no longer able to vote. You're dead for some reason or another. Because somebody with a damn phone app told you so. And told the state that you're voting in that you no longer exist, and they take you off the voting polls. And what if you're a Democrat? Think about that one. States like Georgia are coming out with the apps and the websites to disenroll people. Kid you not. Disenroll your ass. Which means you are no longer someone or something that can actually vote. I heard about this one. I was still shaking my head on this one. You gotta be kidding me, I'm saying to myself. Would they actually allow an interference of a constitutional right? And actually, yeah, somebody has. Going through all the little things that both of them been going through. I just wanted to find one particular section I was going to be backing this thing up because I knew I was seeing this somewhere, and it was just irritating the crap out of me that states can actually do this to a person. Here we are. Here we are. I was wondering when this guy was. So imagine you're a voter and you just found out that there was a group out there trying to clean off people left and right. And it happened. It happened. In Texas, and among some of the other conservative states, there's a conservative group out there who's making sure for years that people get kicked off one way or another. Georgia's doing its own way, but Texas was already doing it about a decade and a half already. Throughout the last several, few elections we've already had. True the vote. I'm believing these schmucks exist. Physically, it's not proven that they exist except in the post office box, but they exist. They exist on a website, they exist on Facebook, they exist on YouTube. They've got an online presence out there telling people how to screw people's votes over. I'm not surprised that Georgia picked up on the same situation there. And people allowed this shit to happen on their watch. You have conservative groups out there challenging whether or not you're too conservative for them or not. If you're liberal, if you're wokeism, if you're libtard or libturd, then guess what? You don't get the vote in your state. There's yep. Bing! You're off. People would scream and yell at the county registrars, not to mention the state, to see whether or not they're still on there or not. There was a story CNN ran, yesterday on this one, and I managed to pick up on it. I gotta put this on my links because this pissed me off. And then when I found out through another website who was monitoring stuff, and I found out Georgia had already been doing this stuff as well, and trying to get people off the rolls, off their lists, passing laws left and right, including the state governor signing off on the damn thing, legislation. Somebody ought to be challenging them through the federal court systems on this. But then again, I'm kind of wondering whether or not the Supreme Court would be ruling on this stuff or not. Challenge is, we are supposed to theoretically have the right to vote, but we can't have the right to vote if they keep declaring us dead in the county that we reside in. And the state won't help us on this one because the state wants us off it. Because you have a Secretary of State keep signing off on it and wants people to vote Republican. All the way to keep an orange gas bag and also their kind in office. Screw what it takes for democracy at this point. If the majority is all Republican, democracy fails. If there's a mixture of Republican and Democrat, then we have democracy in action at this point. But if you're just limiting it to one party, it doesn't work. Democracy doesn't work. It's only dictatorship, authoritative. With democracy, it's like two or more parties competing with each other, and the people have to make the decision which particular party they want to be with. But it's the platforms that they have that's deciding whether or not if they're going to be good or bad for the state, depending on what they think of what is good and bad for the state. If your freedom of speech is being impaired, you still have a federal constitution, yes, but it's going to be limited at this point because the state and the locals are saying, no, you don't. Your vote doesn't count because one party says so, one group says so. You're not with us, so you're them, and your non-existence. Go away. You may be standing right in front of him, yelling in front of his face, and saying, no, you don't belong. California hasn't made that choice and hasn't made that decision yet. People have tried. There have been a couple of recall elections concerning about our own governor. Hasn't made through it yet. And he's still got to be going through his own term. There are people in the state who are trying to run for the state of California governorship. I don't know who the hell they are. At least not many of them anyway. They haven't put out the feelers yet. They haven't put out the flyers. I hadn't seen all the saturation or oversaturation of it. But if my state of California actually started to do this shit, oh God, they're going to get a earful on this shit. But it doesn't matter if we're going to be yelling out a bit on YouTube or not. You have to take it out to the public, and you have to tell them, look, this is not fair. This isn't democracy. This is dictatorship. Who the hell are you to tell us that one group is going to be it and that's about it? No, we want a challenge. We want a democracy. We want a way of telling you, look, the majority rules at this point. But we have to show it by votes, not by legislative and legislating our rights away. If a state can do that, they're going to be overriding the federal government on this one. And if a conservative court agrees to this, then the Constitution is no longer it becomes null and void. The states have to abide by the U.S. Constitution. If they're not, then We don't have a democracy anymore, guys. It doesn't follow the Constitution. And again, I blame the voters because they allowed this shit to happen. Venezuela has been protesting like crazy, trying to get one particular dictator off the rolls, but because of a lot of maneuvers that the leader had been doing, he had been sidelining everybody, or one way or another, making sure that the votes were fixed and the ballots were fixed. So only one candidate, despite the fact they've got an alternate candidate they were trying to get in to make changes in Venezuela. But you still got a strong man doing every tactic he can possibly do, and he got in, and the people are still pissed off about it. And they're thrashing in Venezuela over it. We're going to be coming like that. The Republican Party kept saying we're going to be turning into a banana republic. Well, guess what, boys and girls? We're turning into a banana republic. Because other people keep saying that we're turning into a banana republic. They're the ones forcing the situation in the first place. By curtailing every means of democracy at this point. They don't want change. They want the power. They want it their way. And nobody else's. And deny everybody else. I'm surprised we haven't turned into Venezuela and go crazy in every city. But the only way we can do our craziness is by voting and making sure that the people who are counting the ballots are the ones not denying election. There had been stories coming around, popping up on the independents, and sometimes on the corporate media. We got corrupt people going through again counties to count it one way and ignore the others. But we're the crazy ones. No, the ones that are trying to fix to make it their way. They want an authoritative regime. They want it their way. Screw democracy. Screw choice. Choice is not it. Their way or else. That's what it's coming down to for this election, isn't it? And what about the next election or the next election? Is it going to be even worse? Are we going to be going into a civil war? Are we going to be really taking it into the streets and start destroying property because we don't like the damn election results? We're no longer Americans. We're just turned into Venezuela. Even if the election results, done fairly enough, said that we had to change in one particular viewpoint, if the votes said so, fine. But the problem is how they're influencing the votes. That's the thing that's pissing people off, me off as well. They say that Kamala Harris is not black. Well, she's mixed. She's Jamaican black, and she's also got Asian in her. What's wrong with that? And coming up with personal attacks against her family. Trying to say that something's wrong with the husband's past. And, we should go on the family values thing now. Because this is bad. I'm like, flip off the finger on that one. It has nothing to do with a person's ability to run a country, let alone be a governing body, representative of a governing body. They don't care about that. They only care about their own damn ad games. They keep saying that Miss Harris, I call her Miss Harris, that's Veep Harris, she has earned her way. She has earned her way. She had battled through college. She had battled through university. She had battled with grades. She had battled the court systems. She had battled the state. She had battled the country as a senator. And now, what she is a vice president running for president of the United States. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is a girl as a woman going forward. But people have a problem with that one because they look at her and think, oh, well, maybe she's not qualified. She's more unqualified than any other asshole. Keep saying it, and they know it. But they'll say it anyway because they're too damn stupid to know anyway. No, no, no. No, they'll know that she's more qualified. They don't care. They just want to belittle her because they're already that stupid and they don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves. They think she's not going to be able to do good for the country. I think she will be. They said almost the same thing about Hillary Clinton. Kept saying about, well, the husband's this and husband's that. You want her in office? As if her personal crap mattered on how she's got the ability to run a country. I didn't challenge Hillary Clinton on that one. I was challenging Barack Obama because I didn't think the country was ready for a black president. And then I heard him. And I'm thinking he's got a challenge with Hillary on this one. I would love to have seen Hillary Clinton to be a president during that time. But it wasn't meant to be. Because somehow the electoral vote said they wanted change. She couldn't deal with another politician. And yeah, she did go through to the ranks. And yes, she was a wife to a president. And she also made senator. And she also made secretary of state. And because of some kind of bullshit that happened with the Republican Party who tried to keep her out and put Trump in office. Because of the Benghazi snafu. I mean, the thing happened in Benghazi was tragic enough, yes. They kept talking about the infamous laptop with the missing emails, and they were all going crazy at that point. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what? So she's without shoelaces. She doesn't wear sneakers. She doesn't do this. She doesn't do that. Ah! And they grilled the living crap out of her, and she still came out on top on that one. Population vote, if we were running population vote instead of electoral college, Hillary would have been president, and we wouldn't have been having the problems. Well, we had Trump, and we were doing electoral college. And he was attacking her pretty well. But I think prior to that, we actually had a President Obama. So let me go into the history, not of our country, but of the voting history over the past 20 years. I want to see about our I'm gonna do a Wikipedia on this one. Britannica would have been nice. I'll go to Wick. We're going down a bit. Because I want to see. There we go. So what was it back in 2019? Okay, during that time of the election. Right. Prior to Barack Obama, we had George Bush from 2001 to 2009. 2001 to 2009. And it was during 2008 the election was really taking a toll on people left and right on that one. The election was a nightmare. Obama was going to be going head to head with McCain, I think. Where the hell did old gas bag get in? gas bag came in 2017. Let's see about the. What I'm trying to look for is the election for 2017, because I remember how ugly it was for 2000 during that time. Okay. A second. We did have the federal elections during that time. We had Senate. We also had presidential during that time. Since I keep remembering so much crap happening during that time, it's just I was trying to find a way to get past the damn nonsense. That's all it was nonsense. One second, I'll put that on pause. What I was remembering about the 2016 presidential election, we did have Obama getting the hell out of office, and Hillary was getting her ass kicked on that one. And in office, prior to that, we did have um, Obama going head to head in the Democratic primaries with Hillary. She was going to go for it, but Hillary was made Secretary of State, if I'm not mistaken on that one. All right, what we got? 2016 and 12. There we go. What I was looking for in the campaigns and the nominations. That's what I wanted to see. What I was looking for is when Hillary Clinton was going head to head with Barack Obama. 2008. Oh no, it was 2012. Guess he was in during that time. You talk about information overload on this one. All right, I gotta go earlier than that. Oh wait. There you go. There we are. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I was trying to get screwed up in my head. 2008. We had junior senator, and then we also had Hillary Clinton, who had been in the Senate herself, running for president of the United States. And they were going back and forth on this one. But not once did they actually attack each other for Obama being a black male and she being a white female. No, it was also not. He wasn't also going after her concerning about Clinton. He's only going about the policies. That's all that mattered was the policies that each of them was trying to represent. And in the primaries, I was rooting for Hillary. I wasn't rooting for Black. I wasn't rooting for Obama because I didn't think he would be a good president. And I was wrong. But I still thought that Hillary would have been a better choice because she had the foreign experience. Well, we're talking about President Barack Obama having issues with the rest of the world. Morning, Mama. My dog. Mom, I know I gotta get that water changed. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. You kept me up all night. You sweet, silly puppy. My little girl. Anyway, when Obama won the primary at this point, um, she would have been a good vice president if there was going to be a vice president. But then Joe Biden became the vice president. And I had no issues over that. But Hillary also made a good, I think, Secretary of State when she was needed the most. Again, she tried to go for the president spot, and I thought she would have been an outstanding leader still. I'm sorry she lost her time on that one, because she really would have been handling everybody else for that one. And Barack did his 8 years, according to the Constitution, according to the amendments. So, she must be obeyed. We're going to continue this music in a few minutes. Let's see what my dog wants.